Chair now recognizes himself for an opening statement. The FBI can't tell us who planted pipe bombs on January 6th. They can't tell us who leaked the Dobbs decision. They can't tell us who put cocaine at the White House. But they were able to spy on a presidential campaign, lie to a FISA court, investigate parents showing up at a school board meeting, and of course saying if you're a pro-life Catholic, you're somehow an extremist. All that because I think the FBI is driven by politics today. In this Congress, this subcommittee has been investigating the political actions of the FBI and a double standard at the Biden-Harris Justice Department. We've heard from countless witnesses. We've heard from government officials and experts. We've heard from Americans targeted by their government, not just conservatives, but also Democrats. In fact, we were in a hearing in this room over a year ago when journalist Matt Taibbi was testifying. While he was testifying, it wasn't the FBI or Justice Department, but I think it makes the point, while he was testifying, the IRS was knocking on his door. Chilling impact, knocking on his door. Turned out they actually owed him money, but they did at the very moment he was testifying to us about the censorship going on in the Biden-Harris administration. Most importantly, we've heard from whistleblowers. We have one with us today who we look forward to hearing from, Mr. Allen. As we have seen, if you're not politically correct, you're not in line with what the government thinks is the proper position, you become the target. Just as frightening if you're one of the good employees in our government who came forward to talk about the targeting, then you really become the target. If you're one of those good employees driven by your commitment to the Constitution, your conscience, and you come forward, they're coming after you. The FBI has used its security clearance adjudication process to purge its ranks of conservatives and whistleblowers, to unlawfully punish those with views contrary to the FBI leadership. Excuse me. Mr. Levitt has brought multiple whistleblower disclosures to this committee regarding the rampant politics within the FBI Security Division, which is tasked with investigating and adjudicating employees' eligibility for a security clearance. Whistleblowers described the Security Division of the FBI as, quote, a toxic work environment. Investigators were asking employees about their colleagues questions like, did they support President Trump? Are they opposed to COVID vaccinations? And we know they asked this because there's a questionnaire that they used, actual questionnaire that the FBI used to have colleagues snitch on their fellow workers. According to whistleblowers, the Security Division leadership under the command of Deputy Assistant Director Jeffrey Veltri created an environment where, quote, it was very common for investigators to ask inappropriate questions of an employee's colleagues, the content of which could never have been used to revoke a person's clearance. And by the way, what is Mr. Veltri up to now? The guy who during his time at the Security Division was described as being adamantly anti-Trump, he's leading the investigation into the second assassination attempt on President Trump in Miami. He's the special agent in charge in Miami. Whistleblowers referenced specific cases where the FBI circumvented due process and ignored key facts during clearance investigations, including investigations of Marcus Allen, who we'll hear from, and Garrett O'Boyle, both whistleblowers who came to this committee. Both of these men stood up and said, this isn't right. What the FBI is doing isn't right, and they both had their clearances suspended and then revoked. But the FBI isn't going to get away with it. On May 13th, 2024, Inspector General Horowitz released a memo finding that the Justice Department and the FBI failed to comply with clear statutory and regulatory whistleblower clearance protections. On May 31st, 2024, the FBI reinstated Mr. Allen's clearance, stating that the original security concerns had been investigated and they were mitigated. All this after 27 months where they harassed Mr. Allen. Remember, Mr. Allen came before this committee on May 18th of last year. The night before the hearing, the FBI sent this committee a letter filled with lies about the whistleblowers that were going to testify that next day. The FBI questioned Mr. Allen's allegiance to the United States, decorated Marine veteran, 20 years of having a security clearance, employee of the year at his Charlotte office. They questioned that. During the hearing, Democrats attacked Mr. Allen, first by imputing someone else's tweet to Mr. Allen, second by comparing him to individuals convicted of sharing classified information with foreign governments, ridiculous, and finally by saying he wasn't a whistleblower, he just had grievances. But that's not what the IG concluded, not at all. Mr. Allen was simply doing his job, doing it well, and for that, because he questioned the leadership at the FBI, he was harassed, lost his security clearance for 27 months, only to have it reinstated. So again, I want to thank our witnesses for being here today, and with that, I would yield to the ranking member for an opening statement.